It's Wednesday afternoon at the WCPO studios, and it's time for your High School Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dyer. Pleased to be talking high school hoops this week on this episode, and I got a couple of guests here for you. In studio, happy to be joined by Walnut Hills girls basketball coach Adam Lazar and Walnut Hills senior combo guard Sean Kelly Darks. Thanks for making the trip down.
Really appreciate you having us. Thanks a bunch.
Definitely. And we're going to talk Walnut Hills girls basketball in just a second. We're also joined by Blanchester head boys basketball coach Adam Weber via Skype. And Adam's kind enough to take a few minutes. We're going to talk with him just momentarily. As always, you can get this WCPO High School Insider Podcast on Stitcher, Google Play, and iTunes. And just a reminder about our special episode of the WCPO High School Insider next week. That's Wednesday, February 5th at the Sharonville Convention Center, as we will highlight the Greater Miami Conference National Football Signing Day. They're talking to a lot of coaches and players, and that's a special episode sponsored by Chick-fil-A and our local Chick-fil-A restaurants. But first things first here, talking all high school hoops. We're going to have plenty of notes for you at the end of this episode and where to find more information about some of these area teams and players. But want to welcome in Blanchester boys basketball coach Adam Weber. Blanchester defeated Claremont Northeastern 87-57 Tuesday night in a Southern Buckeye Athletic and Academic Conference showdown. And pleased to be joined by Coach Weber. Coach, how's your week going, and how's that momentum from Tuesday night's big win?
Well, first off, thanks for having us, and it's been a great season. This group of kids, they just play hard for each other. They want to win. They're so unselfish. Obviously we have some, very talented kids. So it's made my job a lot easier this year. CNE, got us the first time around. It was hard to explain that game to other people, even to ourselves. It was just a strange day. And of course, this time around, we were really hoping to, get a chance to play them and really see what both teams are, going to do on the court. And, with limited bodies and, with what happened with the ejection with Skylar, I was really proud of the team, the way they still came out. They didn't let that, kind of pull their, spirit away from the game. And hats off to CNE for, and Coach Jones for doing everything they could in that game to try to, make it a battle. But at the end of the day, the kids just came out and played one of their best games of the year. Sipple and Bear, they put on a show, and it was just a really good game for the community. The fan base was enormous last night, and even visiting communities had tons of people coming to watch. So it was just a really good night. And so I'm a little tired today, as it probably looks, but a happy tired because it was really good night for the program.
Well, obviously, Coach, that Wildcats are 15-1, best program start record-wise there for the Wildcats. And as you mentioned, Sipple and Bear, junior guard Brayden Sipple, 38 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I can keep going on the stat line here. 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Senior forward Hunter Bear, he had 21 points with 8 rebounds and 3 blocks. How lights out were both of those guys last night?
I mean, and the thing that is really hard from a coaching end, you're scoring so easy, and these guys can score so well and so fast that, we had 80 points with a whole 8 minutes of basketball left to play. And so then you get yourself in a situation where, you have a lot of people that came to see these kids, and Hunter being a senior, he's only got so many more games at home, but you get yourself in that difficult decision of, okay, how long am I going to let these guys play? When am I going to pull them out? And then you got to try to, think about some people traveled a long way to see them. And so, it was fun and it was a challenge, and they did really good last night. But I wish I could have let them roll to the end, because then those numbers probably would have been really high. I mean, I don't know how high they could have been, but we tried to do the right thing.
But before we get into kind of Brayden Sipple and his recruiting, and obviously things have really taken off, as you have mentioned, but just what has made this team so special, just from a camaraderie standpoint?
I mean, we knew this was going to be the most athletic team we've ever put together. I mean, unless you see them in person, a couple of AAU coaches there last night just kind of shook their head and said, man, we did not know you had these athletes here. So we knew we had that piece. We knew we had, just the physical sides of everything. But over the years, we've had some athletes, but we just never had a group that, when I say that they enjoy time with each other, I mean, it's every day. There's absolutely no jealousy. The parents, they absolutely support each other huge. I mean, when a kid does something well, they're all happy, or at least, it appears that way. And the kids feed off of it. And so that's the biggest piece. And, I try to talk to, people about what makes this team so special. That really is the piece, the chemistry part. The ball goes where it's supposed to go when it's supposed to go there. And, you don't see guys trying to get theirs. They're just trying to win. And they're trying to win with the best show that they can. And that's again, why this season for me has been really, really, really fun.
I'm talking with Blanchester head boys basketball coach Adam Weber here on the WCPO High School Insider Podcast. A big 30-point win for the Wildcats last night against CNE. And let's talk about just this community support around Blanchester, the atmosphere last night. Just tell us what that outpouring of support has been for your program.
Well, yeah, and I'm not from the community. I, came here teaching and coaching. So it's like a lot of people did not know much about, the community at the beginning. And, again, last night, coaches from coming in and they're telling me that they couldn't find a place to park. The people will really, really, really support good teams that have good people on them. These guys are very, very well liked by members of the community. They go out and do a lot of things for the community. And so in return, this year they've come to every game, home and away, and just been right there behind us the whole time. And, sometimes they overlook how important that is to these guys, but I'll speak for them. The community's been huge, and hopefully they've been having a lot of fun like we have.
I covered Luke Kennard a number of years ago now, and that makes me feel old now that he's in his second or third year in the NBA now with the Pistons. But just seeing that and sensing what a player like that could do for a community like Franklin. I assume Brayden Sipple has had a similar impact in packing the gyms and building that anticipation before game night. I mean, how has he been able to handle all that attention and spotlight?
He is the most humble kid. Everybody that talks to him, it's never about him. He actually, sometimes as a coach, I get frustrated. He'll give up plays again to be sure that it never comes across that this is about him. He's the first person to praise his teammates. He's the first person to say that the win is the most important thing. And you're right. He's been coming through the community for a long time, and we knew he was going to be good. I was pretty sure he was going to be this good. And the beautiful thing is people have followed him for a long time, and so they're really getting to see the maturation process, and it's really been fun to watch that piece of it.
Brayden averages more than 34 points a game this season. Tell me about that decision to not play quarterback and focus purely on basketball. How difficult of a decision was that for him?
It was a tough one. I also run a lawn care business, and he works for me in the summer. And I still remember, the day football started, I looked at him and I said, if you want to go to practice, we'll go to practice. I'll drive you over there right now. And, it wasn't that, he had any issues with football or with anything there. He loves the game, loves the coaches, loves the guys that play it. But he just I guess had a moment, and a lot of these AAU tournaments that he went at, that he just decided he wanted to be better than he was at that moment, and he just said, I want to work on that. And so we committed to, a lot of people don't know it, he was meeting me at Vital Fitness in Wilmington every morning at 6 a.m. and hitting the weight room just one-on-one with myself. And so it was a tough decision, and I hope people know that I didn't talk him out of it. It was something in his heart that he wanted to do. I encourage my players to play everything they want. Don't worry about what's coming next. Play what you want right now. But it was very tough for him.
Well, we saw a lot of recruiting attention. Obviously, one of Bob Huggins' assistants there, West Virginia, drove 4 hours. What was it last week to see one of your games? Obviously, what are his offers right now? And what are some of the interested programs that have been showing up lately?
The first offer came in with Detroit Mercy, and then of course Cedarville came in right in next, and so those are really the full offers right there that are clear cut. As of late, Wright State, Miami, West Virginia, making the trip to, like we said, Indiana. Again, it's still early in the, because again, part of the reason this is making attention is small town with, big team and big player. And so truthfully, there are, a handful of people that are like, hey, we needed to get here and see this because we didn't know for sure if this was for real. That was one of the first things Coach Rutter said last night. He shook his head and said, I can't believe this is the first night we've been here. And so again, it's still rolling, still got a whole nother season. And it's been a learning
process. Sounds like
process.
It's been a
actually
fun time.
For both of us.
I'm sorry, Coach. Sounds like a lot of fun though for everybody there that's associated with the school. Before I let you go, East Clinton Friday night is your next game. Who are some other guys? We mentioned Hunter and Brayden, but who are some other guys who have contributed to this 15-1 success?
Well, Jackson Wiley, he's a senior, jumps out of the gym, lights it up he's one of the best athletes I've ever seen. Tanner Krager, he's our point guard. He's the glue on the court. He's small, but he's really, really tough. And then, we have two guys that kind of play the fifth man, Jay Ashcraft and Brayden Roy. And Brayden Roy is only about 5'9", and he threw one down two hands in practice the other day. And then Jay he's just our muscle. He's the guy that, somebody wants to, get chippy. He's the guy is going to walk over there and make sure it doesn't go any further. And that, that's kind of his role. And that's the other thing is these guys have understood what their job is and they don't care. But they're all great kids.
Blanchester head boys basketball coach Adam Weber, really appreciate your time and best of luck to the Wildcats going forward as we head down the home stretch of the regular season.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate having me.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That was Blanchester head boys basketball coach Adam Weber talking about the 15-1 Wildcats, and want to say thank you for your patience to Walnut Hills girls basketball coach Adam Lazar and senior combo guard Sean Kelly Darks. Definitely want to transition over to the Eagles' 15-3 record entering Saturday's game at Turpin. And Coach, I guess I'll just start off with you've built a consistent program here, very successful here the past few years. And what are you most proud of your squad this season?
Definitely the way they've come together as a group. We lost a big piece last year in Kennedy Miles, who's at Illinois right now. And the way our four seniors have come together as a group and maintained the standard, which is what we always talk about. And that's kind of where we've gotten the program to. We constantly talk about the standard. We don't play against teams. We play against our standard. And the way the seniors have made the younger kids understand that has been tremendous. And that's why we've been successful in the long run.
Sean Kelly, what do you enjoy most about this team right now?
Right now,